Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Gentlemen of the press, I welcome you this evening for a brief chat. You may all recall that I have been the Wazir of Katsina for about 20 years. Prior to that, I was a very good friend of the media. I used to speak publicly. But under that office, I decided to be giving all my advice in camera to the traditional institution, to government officials, and to all concerned authorities. However, now that I'm free, I believe the only channel I have to communicate with people is through publications and through media chats. Today, I intend to address you very briefly on what I consider is a very important and fundamental aspect of Nigeria's life that, to my mind, has been ignored either deliberately or maybe mistakenly. This aspect has to do with religion. Islam and Christianity, the two major religions in Nigeria, which almost 100% of Nigerians practice. Indeed, all the leaders in Nigeria profess to be either Muslims or Christians. We have the traditional institution, particularly in the north, that once stood as both a traditional and a religious institution. Today, we have religious organizations. The Muslims have the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, the Christians of the Christian Association of Nigeria. Those of us who are old enough know that the major bone of contention in Nigeria had been ethnicity and regionalism. However, very unfortunately today, religion has taken a center stage. Those of us who are old enough know that Nigeria today is under a security, an economic, and a social emergency. Whether the government declares that or not, an attack on the presidential convoy is more than enough to tell us that nobody is safe in Nigeria anymore. Emirs have suspended the very important cultural aspect of Muslim life in Nigeria, the Salah Daba, because of insecurity. Governors have been asking citizens to go and save themselves. One time, you will all recall that the Minister of Defense himself said Nigerians should not be cowards, that they should confront bandits and insurgents. I wonder how you expect ordinary people to face an AK-47 or AK-49 rifle with a catapult or by biting that person. These are words once said by Nigerian leaders. I was once a food a livestock merchant, and of course, I was and still a farmer. I recall up to 1980, I used to take maize to Kaduna, selling a bag, 100-kilogram bag of maize, at about 17, 18 naira. I repeat, 17, 18, not 180 or 1,800 naira. I used to keep rams for Salah. I used to sell between 400 to 500 every year. And believe me, the largest ram I ever sold in 1980 was 30 naira. That kind of ram is about 400 naira today. I recall that in 1980, the minimum wage was 70 naira. Today, it is supposed to be 30,000. I equally recall that those of us who graduated with the first degree from universities were earning 4,200 naira per annum that time. I built my first 3-bedroom permanent house here at 3,700 naira, from foundation to receiving the keys. That time I was a manager in the private sector, earning a little more than those in the public sector. I was on a salary of 6,000 naira per annum. As in 1980, average cars were sold for between 2,000 to 3,600 naira. The most expensive car then for workers was the Peugeot car that was being assembled in Nigeria. The one without air conditioner was sold for about 3,500 naira. As a manager, I bought one for 5,750 naira on road, including 1-year insurance and a full tank from one of the companies. The point I'm making here is, as in 1980, every worker from the laborer to Mr. President could afford to own either a house or a car with a 1-year salary. Today, go and check the Revenue Mobilization Commission. The salary of a state governor, including all the allowances, is supposed to be 7.7 million naira. When you multiply that by 4 years, a state governor is supposed to earn about 31 million naira. But a state governor can afford to buy a form to contest for an election for 50 million naira. There's a lot wrong with us in this country. In 1980, I keep on making reference to 1980. I went to the bank, gave the bank 550 naira, and I was given $1,000 for a trip to London. That time, a dollar was equal to 55 kobo. I repeat, a dollar was equal to 55 kobo. Today, a dollar is 600 plus naira. I gave you these examples for you to know the kind of situation we are in today. I said earlier that we are under a security emergency. The government is only refusing to declare it. Today, we are under an economic emergency. The government is refusing to declare it. And we're also under a social emergency. When some Easterners are asking for Biafra, some Westerners are asking for Oduduwa Republic, and some young Northerners are saying, let's break up the country. That is a very serious social malice. Now, why are we in this situation? We are in a very important period. We are in one of the most important months in Islam, where we have Nigerians performing Hajj. in the Holy Land of Saudi Arabia. In fact, at this same time, we have Nigerian pilgrims performing the Easter pilgrimage in Jerusalem. When both were living, they were told to go and pray for Nigeria. When the Emir of Katsina declared that there will be no Salah Daba, he said we will pray for Nigeria. When the federal government declared public holiday for Salah, we should pray for Nigeria. When Christmas is declared, we should pray for Nigeria. Experts have proven that there is no country in the world that has as many churches and mosques, both the ramshackle ones and the super huge ones, than Nigeria. It has also been declared that Nigeria is the most religious country at the moment. True, religion, as I earlier said, is now taking center stage in everything in our lives. We are not looking for quality leaders. We are looking for either Muslims or Christians, the so-called balance. But from 1980, where I gave you an example to date, we have been praying and praying and praying, and things have been getting worse and worse and worse. Can't we ask ourselves, where are our clergymen who claim to even be speaking to God, who tell us X will win an election, X will lose? Where are the religious leaders, both the Muslims and the Christians, who unfortunately many of them misuse religion? What do you call someone who will be taking 10, 20 naira from his ordinary followers, build a 10 billion naira church, buy private aircraft, build super mansions, while the unfortunate people weekly come on foot or on Okada motorcycles to give a tithe, which is nowhere in either Islam or Christianity? Let us remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told Muslims that there must arise a group of you who shall call people to good work, enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. This is in the glorious Quran, in Surah Al Imran. Equally in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 10, you will see a similar thing, very close. God is saying you should stop evil in whatever way. You should be just and fair. I have studied the Quran and the Bible and realized in both Islam and Christianity, for worldly affairs are the same. The only difference between Islam and Christianity is in the mode of worship. All the 10 commandments in the Bible are exactly the same commandments in the Quran. Do not collect bribery. Do not kill. Do not fornicate. Do not steal. Do not be an intoxicant. All the 10, I repeat, all the 10 commandments are word by word somewhere in the Quran. Leadership has been emphasized in both Islam and Christianity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, sent prophets to show people the importance of leaders. They were his representatives on earth. The two great prophets, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Isa alayhi salam, for Islam and Christianity, study their lives, how they lived. No corruption, no bribery, no injustice, but justice and fairness. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, maybe I read that in Arabic, كلكم راعي وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. All of you are leaders, and all of you will be asked for that which Allah has entrusted in your hands. Then he said, he started with the leader, Imam, that the leader shall be questioned about all the subjects under him. Then the husband, the father, will be questioned about his family. Even the servant will be questioned about the wealth entrusted in his care by his master. By this, I sympathize with Mr. President, who will have to answer how 200 million people lived during his tenure. I sympathize with my governor, who has to answer how 10 or more million people survived in 8 years of his tenure. Those of us who do not have that kind of responsibility will only answer questions for our families and, of course, for our dealings with other people. When you look at the weight, as I read earlier, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and God told us in the Quran and the Bible that there must be a group that will be calling people to the right path, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is evil. You will find that we have roughly 3 sets of leaders in Nigeria. The political leaders, made up of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They have the power, they have the authority, they have the responsibility. They are the only ones who can ensure that people do the right thing. They are the only people who can punish those who refuse to do the right thing, punish the evil ones, and reward the just ones. The other set are the religious and the traditional leaders. They have no power whatsoever. Traditional rulers, clergymen have absolutely no power, no authority. They cannot punish you, they cannot imprison you, and they cannot force you to be good. But the political leaders have all this. The purpose of government is to secure lives and for the welfare of the people. So they have got the political leaders have got a divine responsibility, and they have a constitutional responsibility. Now, to my earlier question, why are we praying and praying and praying, but things are getting worse, worse and worse? My answer is simple. We refused to abide by what Allah God has said we should do. Simple. I know that there is a general debate that insecurity is now an international phenomenon, that the economic problem is equally worldwide. China has 1.5 billion people, the most populous country in the world. I am yet to see anybody telling me that there is insecurity, even 1% of the insecurity in Nigeria and China. 200 million people. Saudi Arabia. There is absolute peace, security there. You can leave your car with the keys inside. Nothing will happen. Even some European countries. The United States of America was like this. But when they started unjust actions all over the world, you can see what is happening to the US today. The US is losing its international leadership. So if anyone tells me that because there is insecurity all over the world, then we should have this level of insecurity in Nigeria, I think that person is not serious. Even Niger Republic nearby here, it's only recently that they are suffering from a spillover on Nigerian borders, not internally. And those of us who know how things operate in Niger Republic, a country that you may call poor in comparison with Nigeria, they have more peace, more security, more stability, and to some extent, a better way of life. Today, nobody is safe. The economy is bad. Perhaps I may proffer some answers that I proffered for some 20 years silently. If we look at the current situation, the first is, let our clergymen and the traditional leaders take the responsibility that they have. That is, advise. They are advisors. They should advise the political leaders truly, faithfully. They have done their job. I say this because I am yet to hear any Muslim or Christian very powerful leader saying, we have left God and that's why God has left us. Saying that Nigeria today is under a divine curse. Allah has cursed us because we refuse to do what He said we should do as His servants. Secondly, like I said, the most important group in any nation or community, or even in the NUJ, is leadership. Once you have good leaders, they will lead you to success. When you have bad leaders, of course, they will teach you how to be bad. And that is what has happened in Nigeria. How do we expect peace where millions cannot afford even half a meal in a day? A bag of maize or rice is sold simply because government money is being used to feed them. How can we expect peace when millions of young chaps, some are even university graduates, are roaming the streets unemployed, while the children of the affluent are enjoying themselves? How do you expect peace when millions of the children of the ordinary citizens are out of school, while the children of the leaders are all in overseas countries studying with either the legitimate or illegitimate income of their parents? How can you have peace when respect has been drained, when there is mistrust, when those in authority have taught those in the bush to use the gun to take money because they are using the pen to take money? I will wonder if anybody will be surprised that I said corruption is endemic in Nigeria. We have all seen a former Inspector General of Police in handcuffs in prison in Nigeria. The first, second, third, and even the last leader of the EFCC all have corruption cases, and they are supposed to check corruption. To the best of my knowledge, all those who were governors in Nigeria have a corruption case either completed or in the pipeline in the courts of law. Which other group? The judiciary. Second to the last, left because of corruption. Chief Justice of Nigeria. Even the last one now is being accused of corruption. by judges themselves. I don't want to talk about the legislature. It is clear what is happening there. So where do we go? If the political leaders are in this mess, if the traditional and the religious leaders are failing in their strong duties, which they have no power, no authority, but they have the responsibility to advise, because people respect them. If they don't, they will lose their respect. And Nigeria, we should beware. The day the traditional rulers and the religious leaders lose respect because the political leaders have lost the respect of the people, in the event of any crisis, who will talk to people? We have to beware. I repeat, we have to beware. We have to go back to God. We have to go back to Allah. We have to pray hard. We have to change our ways. Those leaders who have taught the rest of us to equally be crooks should check themselves, and we should also check ourselves. The PVC is my last call. People should have their PVCs in hand by now. We have a chance in some month to change the calculation. If, however, local government level, the political parties have presented candidates that the people feel are not the kind of candidates who will be just and fair, then get your own candidates, ask them to join the smaller parties, support them. After all, we supported somebody who didn't have the funds or anything in 2015 to win an election. So why not do the same thing? Why not get the good people? In summary, I would want to say the solution is pray hard, work hard, because Allah, God says, Inna Allah la yaghayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yaghayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will never change the condition of any people unless they change their bad attitudes for good ones. A similar thing is in the Bible, where God says, faith without action is useless. Thank you. May Allah bless.